There we go. Robin, can you hear me now? There we go. Hello? I don't know why. Okay. Try that. Hello? Can you hear me now? Great. I would like it so that we can all see each other. That should be happening, right? Did that change anything? No. Let's see. I don't hear you, Robin, but should be an interactive hangout. So it's open to the public. Let me invite you. But since it's public, I didn't think I had to. Let me invite you. Let's see. Are you able to chat? Do you see the chat window, Robin? Unless I might have. Hold on. I think I know the problem. Hold on. I'm just sending you an invite. Let me see if accepting that brings you into the chat. Hold on. All right, so I just sent you an email. Let's see if that makes any difference. Hello, if you're joining us, we're just trying to get everybody able to see each other. So Robin can see us but not hear us. All right. Okay. Hmm. Hey, okay. There's Robin. Hold on 1 second. I don't, I just can't hear you. Wait a sec. Try it now. No. Let me check on my end. I had to go to the settings option at the top and change the output to my built-in output. So I have, you can hear me, is that right? We'll get this. Can mute you, but bring you back. Nothing. So I had to go, oops, that's gonna be, sorry. Cool. How did you just type that? Oh, great, we got the chat going. You need to accept the email invitation? Is that what did it? Okay, so let me fire off some email invitations quickly. That's gonna mess some people up. Let me do that real quick and see. Okay. All right, I'm just gonna take a minute to send off some emails. But I still can't hear you, Robin, for some reason. Let's see. No sound. I guess you can hear me. I don't need to type it. Sorry. That's weird. I have sound. So my sound is working. I have my settings set to my output. It's weird. Okay, huh. I have like a control panel of everybody's volume, and yours is on. I'm sharing your controls now. I don't know what that did. The only thing I can think of is maybe, yeah, or log off and log on again, maybe. Try that. Okay. Hey, hello. I can hear you now.
Oh, excellent. Okay.
Cool.
Human interaction.
Hi, Robin.
Hi. I wonder.
Awesome.
You know what? I had the other one open in my browser, which was a little delayed. I think it's a broadcast. Maybe that was stealing my sound.
Yes, that sounds like something that it would do.
That's the only thing I did differently. So.
Okay. I just sent out invites to everybody that said they could check in at this time.
Okay.
There are a handful of teachers. It looked like maybe one other person was viewing it when you were trying to log in too, and I hope that person comes back. But okay, so now I guess I sent out the link that was just to like watch this. Oh, okay. But I actually have to send, I have to actually send an invitation, I think, to make it work for everybody.
I don't fully understand it, but I know for Rutgers we do these live broadcasts where it's not interactive. Like they can see us, but we can't see them.
Okay, so it's like a broadcast.
And I'd never been on the other end of it, but it seemed like maybe that's what it was, because there's always a delay for them. Like they're seeing it like a few minutes after. So for a second, I was getting you in like 3-minute delay.
Oh no!
Simultaneously.
Is it good now? Does the feed
so it's fine now, but I think this is a regular Hangout call, and the other one might have been like a different type of thing where it's one way. But I'm not exactly sure. It seems like it should work.
Cool. While we're on the topic, I wanted to show you this. This is something that I might have mentioned it to you before, but this is an open source software for conferencing within any LMS. So like we could have it set up inside of. I just sent you the link. We could have it set up inside of like YCIW Classroom, and teachers and students, like if we wanted to do something with like a composer who was going to talk to the class, or musicians who were going to play live, this would be integrated just as like another sort of feature to the class. And they would click it, and it would be, if you have a chance later, you can go through it. They're pretty good. They have a demo. You can try it out, but teachers every user can participate, which may be problematic depending on the class, or may be great, but a kid could, post a question, have their video feed there as well if they have a camera. But it's free, it's open source, and it's got a really good reputation. So I was going to see about trying to get somebody to install it for us. I can kind of do it. I might try it myself first to see if I can do it. because I think that would be a useful tool, kind of building on top of what I did for that conference where we streamed it, sort of doing more of those things.
Yeah. Oh,
anyway,
really useful.
How are you doing?
Good, pretty good.
It's not like you're. How's the piece coming?
It's coming along. It's like I get in this mode with it where I just tune everything out.
Yeah, of course.
But it's good. I'm getting near like a complete draft, and then I can relax a little bit.
And you must be. Are you like in charge of the a cappella Noteflight contest? Like, are you doing that too?
I'm helping with it. So later tonight, I have to. My job is basically to cull the lists, like to weed out anything that isn't really worth
a cappella
for the judges. yeah, exactly. Or it's like the wrong song, or like notes or whatever. So it's kind of fun, but it takes a while. We got 120 submissions.
Cool.
Which is cool. Yeah.
That's fantastic. And then who's going to perform it? Is there a group that's going to do it, or
actually, I don't think we have a performance lined up. It's the winner gets publication by Hal Leonard.
Right.
And
that's
then
cool.
a bunch of gear.
Awesome.
Like audio gear. So, yeah.
That's fabulous. Wow, neat. Great. Yeah. Oh my God, so cool.
And it's been crazy at Noteflight with like the Noteflight Learn thing coming out, and although it's actually gotten a little less crazy than it was earlier in the fall.
Yeah. Okay.
So
well,
that's good.
Yeah. Once it's released, you sort of get a letdown. And see what happens. Yeah. We're not talking about it now, but at some point, I would like to talk to you just about this. I looked at it and everything, and I kind of understand where it's going and the idea of groups.
Yeah.
And I guess this is my main question for Joe, and you probably know this too, but like, the groups feature is something that we always talked about, like, oh, that would be perfect for us because then any teacher with their Noteflight could just sort of join us. Yeah. My one worry, or what I think I hope it's something they could work out eventually, but I don't know how it would work for the LTI capability that we have for the special.
It's still totally separate.
Separate, that's the thing. So
as far as I know, you should double check with Joe, but it seems like that'll always be separate.
Yeah, I don't see how it could not be, because it's that's how it's built. It's built so it can talk to some other kind of software.
I just did 2 orders where they ordered a standalone site and they were all happy, and then they were like, so how do I? Now I just want to connect it to Canvas. And I was like, oh, you have to start over. And I have to refund you and re-invoice you.
Right. But what I think it will be great for us right away is when I get some time, maybe over the winter vacation, I will redo the teacher MusicWorks that has my Noteflight examples that I just use like my regular Noteflight account. But maybe there I can set it up as a shared account, however we do that, so that somebody with their own group can just, I don't even know how it works, but can just use the examples and stuff to go through the course. So but that will be helpful. Hey, that's Tony.
Hey, Tony.
How's it going?
Hey, Tony. How's it going? Yeah, you guys met, right? Tony, you know
we
Rob.
met at the Impact conference.
The Impact, awesome.
Good to see you.
Thanks for joining us. So it's just us three at the moment. It looks like maybe this might be it for tonight. There were 2 other teachers that said they were available, and I know of one that said they definitely were going to chime in. But I said, if you can come in later, that would be fine. So we can just jump right in. My thought was that this would be a good opportunity for teachers to sort of, introduce each other, see face to face in this virtual way that there are other teachers using the curriculum and trying to do this with their students, and getting that sort of back and forth dialogue with other teachers, as well as just sort of asking individual questions, either to me or to Robin, or things that you've come across, which would be useful for everybody. But so I guess we could start with that. Tony, is there anything? I know we had a few email exchanges today, but is there anything? I guess if you have a specific question, we could start with that. But I'm wondering just sort of like your overall impression, or like what is this what you thought it would be, or like how's it going? Or...
Can you hear me? Okay, what's the level like?
Perfect.
Okay,
good. Yeah, it's actually been great. So I'm using it right now with the music tech class in the high school. It's a 1-semester elective. It's made up of mainly students who are not part of regular ensembles, stuff like that. So 4 of the students finished MusicWorks 1 today. So I met with them, and I was just like, what do you think? and they both, all four of them, had positive things to say. But I think overall, what I got out of it was nobody has been complaining, which is big. You know?
Yeah, that's a huge endorsement, actually.
Yes. No reaction is usually a really positive thing.
Right. Like they log into the computer and they get to work. You know, I have a couple of knuckleheads that there's nothing I can do about. But
of course.
John, I don't know if you nothing you can do about that. And I have some kids who are in band and want to do like music in college and stuff, so they're eating this up a lot. And additionally, I think they're creating a better relationship with notation. So as opposed to me teaching on the board, every good boy deserves touch. Like they just get it because now they're actually doing something.
Yeah,
that's always been the loss.
Yeah, that's one of the basic ideas as far as like teaching, not teaching theory first, as far as like note reading.
Right.
But
so yeah, it's been positive. The Canvas thing is a little. One issue we came up with a solution with is sometimes the turn-in bin button is missing.
Okay.
But if we save the note flight file and then refresh the page, it appears.
Yes. I should make this more explicit to teachers. What it definitely does is if you do anything in NoteFlight that I know that for this aspect it does it for sure. If you change versions of NoteFlight, the turn-in button goes away. So if you go from the Flash to the HTML5 one, which often is what my kids will do if they're on a machine that loads the Flash one, they load up the HTML5 and then the turn-in button is gone. Robin, that's something maybe we should note. I've never reported that to anybody at NoteFlight. I don't know.
Yeah, that's good to know. I don't remember that coming up before. So
it's without fail. It's like every time. Like it's if you change the versions.
Actually, I think we had somebody saying that the button had disappeared, but I'm not sure we identified that as the cause, which is good to know.
Yeah, and it is a matter of reloading the page. But I mean, for for a fifth grader or something, like they'll freak out, and they're not going to do anything until they.
We're hoping. By the way, we're hoping very soon to convert over to HTML5 so that these issues. I know that's a long-standing.
It's like for me, that's always been a thing. Just like get rid of that.
And the concern is just getting the performance to be adequate.
Yeah.
Right now, it's just not there yet.
And this morning I brought my middle school. I teach middle school percussion as its own class, so they're not in concert band anymore. So they're arranging a Macklemore song.
Cool.
So we just started. I have NoteFlight, Learn, or Classroom, whatever it is right now. I have no clue. My Classroom edition just got renewed, so I think it's Learn.
It's really the same thing.
It's the same. So this morning we tried it, and some of these computers were automatically going on the old version, and some were going on HTML5 version. So two of the kids, we switched over to HTML5, and they're like, "This is so much easier." And I didn't say anything, so I mean, apparently that's great.
Yeah, that's good to know.
I like the old version myself, but.
It took getting used to, I think, because we used the first one and that's what we knew. But I get the same response from kids without fail. Like they like the new one. They like to see the keyboard and all that stuff.
Adding measures though is still super hard to do.
That's a pain. Yeah.
Especially at the beginning of a song. Like I still have to do that for kids, like without fail.
Yeah. One thing that I sort of work around for that is to select an empty measure and type R. To repeat the measure.
Repeat it,
Or you can do like a range. You can select a range of measures to mass produce them.
Sure.
It's not ideal because it's not. You sort of have to know to do it.
Yeah.
It's not very obvious, but it is faster once you.
So when you say click the measure, you mean like on the top, so it all highlights that one measure, and then hit R.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and actually the R key is one of the least known but best features.
I'm glad you brought that up because that's pedagogically, like I think it's an important thing for my students to know, and I tell them we do that really early on.
Yeah.
Even with notes. So
it'll repeat whatever is selected. So if the whole measure is selected, it'll repeat the measure. But if just a note is selected, or a few notes, or whatever, or if just the content is selected, it will map into.
Yeah, that's good because copy doesn't work on the Mac with was it Command C?
Oh, it should.
They should now, but they used to be just PC commands so you had to use control. But I find command works mostly.
I think that
maybe
was
it's an older version of the software. Depends on the version of Safari.
I'm gonna give it a go.
But again, getting back to that R key, like as soon as we talk about repetition, I'll show kids how to shift click on a group of notes. Like if they have their little main theme or their main idea, we want to make a sequence out of it, I'll show them how to shift click to highlight those notes and then hit R and use the arrows to move up and down. So that's the R button. We like that.
Great. Yeah.
Tony, well, before we leave the Canvas thing, keep coming. You can always email me things that look weird or things that aren't.
Oh, yeah.
I'm using it too, so So like I see these same problems and like.
There was a weird thing that multiple kids brought up when they're typing the notes, not the notes, like a paragraph or something.
Okay.
It says the instructions are submit this. You have to hit the submit button.
Yes, it's ridiculous. Today, 6 kids asked me that question. Matt, where do you type it? Where's the thing? Because you would think submit would be when you're done, which is when you do no-flight stuff. So
that's an easy.
That's an easy one. That's something we can fix actually because we host our own version. Like we have this instance of Canvas that's our own, and we have a developer who can change the code and make edits and things. So changing wording is something that we can do. So
I think something I got to do for myself the next time that I use it is go in and edit the instruments that they choose and try and do the instruments that are covered by kids in my class so that we can perform them. I lost that aspect. I didn't even think about it until I was driving in the car today.
So you saying like changing the staff to be the instruments that they're actually going to play, that the the music.
So right now in my class I have euphonium, mallet player, and a flute player.
Yeah.
So like if they wrote something for that, and then
that's great. That's the question that I come up against sometimes too at the beginning because I leave it open ended as well, and then because I'm thinking like, well, I don't really know what the ensemble is going to be exactly, but I also want to have them understand that they can explore these other instruments, but it does make it a little bit harder. And I think, in some ways it's easier if I just give them the instrumentation right off the bat. And so I kind of go back and forth on that. Yeah. But I think easier might be better in this case. So changing the instruments first if you know that's what's going to play the pieces.
Yeah, it's too monotonous right now, which I think is my fault because I've been trying to go around to I can't get to everybody and there's not an extra computer for me. So
okay, that's a great question because this is the first question I was going to ask. We had multiple teachers. Kind of what I'm interested in is what the classroom environment is like. It sounds like you're in a lab, computer lab,
literally,
right? Where there's other kinds of.
This is it.
Yeah, I can. And is there an overhead projector? Is there some computer connected to a projector?
There's a projector, but the projector cord is missing a lot. It's so I come down and it's either here, today I came with the middle school kids expecting that I could show a no-flight introduction before I threw them at it, and it wasn't there, so I had them surround the computer.
Yeah, I have that feeling too.
Yes. One of the things that I think is interesting, what I'm always kind of trying to figure out is I've changed the way that I teach this every year. It's gotten a little bit different, and where I'm going with it more in my teaching for a number of reasons, but also because of my director, principal, want to see a more traditional music class, at least middle school. A lot of the class is sort of using regular classroom instruments, our voice, and things like that, doing the concepts that we're going to use in our piece. So they're largely composing a little bit in class, a little bit at the end usually. They're largely doing it outside of class. And so I'm curious if teachers are interested in exploring those ideas or if they think it would be beneficial. Because I think once we sort of lock into this is note flight and we're going to make a composition on the computer, we ought to, and I do this still too, is okay, we're just going to think using the computer is how we're going to learn. And I'm really curious to see how much better it can be for kids if there's regular sort of music making that is tied into what they're going to do in their piece.
Right.
And, to give you my answer, where it stands right now is I think it helps some kids, and I think the sort of kinesthetic part of it is really good for some kids to get it. They can work together on the concepts. and then there are other kids who like really like to be in the computer, moving things around, and they have their aha moments when they're like in note flight, which I think is fine. Like I'm totally okay with that being the way it is. So I guess I would say, Tony, if you definitely one thing that is helpful is being able to broadcast their pieces for the class to hear.
Yeah.
And facilitating some conversation, either questions that they have, the composer might have a question, an observation you might make. Usually I have to like start the observation. Not so much now at this point in the year. Like I'll just play. I'll put up a kid's piece. I'll sometimes keep it open-ended and say, okay, what did you hear? And ask kids to sort of identify what that composer is doing. And without a doubt, they're so much more interested in hearing each other's music than they are like if I played Mozart or something else.
Yeah, I need to do that. I need to do that. I don't know why I haven't yet.
No, I just pointed out as it being a really useful connection, because kids, there might be the kid who's lost in some ways, and they hear something that somebody else is doing, and they're like, oh, now I get it. Like this is filling in the blank for me. So even if it's not a conversation, just hearing the other pieces, can really be helpful. If there's anything else you want to bring up, the other topic I was curious about is how much of a motivating factor is it with your kids, and did they even contemplate this? Because I know you hadn't really worked out how the pieces were going to be played, but did you talk to them about like, oh, you might get these played, or not at all?
Not at all.
Okay.
I didn't pick it up.
Yeah, okay, which is probably smart, because if you don't know if they're going to get played, it's probably a good idea.
Yeah, you don't want to raise expectations.
Right. But that is also something that I'm curious about, is how much, because I've seen it with my own kids, like it's a real motivator for me to say at the beginning, like, okay, this is something we're doing because it's really fun to do, and it's great to like hear it back on No Flight, but like the goal is to have real musicians play this. And I've found it to be a motivator, like really keeping kids engaged. So that's sort of like, the whole point of YCIW is to try to make that be an option for teachers, like in a real way that's financially feasible, and even if it's not at your school, but maybe it's virtually, So that's always something we're exploring, and you and I talked about a little bit. And I think you said, well, you were thinking about maybe high school musicians doing it, or was it college ensemble? Tony, did you have an idea? Yeah.
I have high school musicians and college musicians. Yeah. So we have two colleges right nearby. They're within a half hour. Yeah. If we were going to do this, I just want to bring it up to the Northeast District, and get it out there. We did have some people sign up, like 3, to be part of task force that we won the Star Cup.
Yeah. It's always lots. It's like a snowball, It's like small. But anyway, I know I would go out of my way and do whatever I could to help you try to get the pieces played.
I think we'll be fine.
Okay.
I just I need to start working on that. Right. I have no time.
Dude, it's
a crazy.
It's almost 8 o'clock and you're still at school, so that's something.
It's typical. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, anything else that is on anybody's mind?
So what differences do you see in? Because I didn't really get to experiment with it. It was on Haiku before, I think. I didn't know. Actually, did it in WordPress. I messed around with Haiku when I first started using No Flight. I did it with my kids on Haiku, and it was just like it wasn't a course or anything. I just did assignments. Right. Yeah. And then the last 2 years, prior to this year, I made something in WordPress that was sort of like an LMS, basically. Yeah. And it was. So if your question was like what that was like, it was basic. It was. There wasn't a lot of teacher control or insight into what was happening. It was more of just like a course that the kid started, and when they finished something, they could go on to the next step. So in some ways, it was like this current YCIW classroom is. It's nice for the teacher in that it's sort of laid out, but there weren't any grades. There wasn't a grade book. There wasn't the check-off system, so like a kid could just literally go down. Yeah. So the grade book
Yeah.
And,
okay.
All right. The kids are finding it frustrating that
Yes.
the grade books are in alphabetical order and the modules are in module order?
Yes.
So,
All
like,
right. You ready for
they
this?
toggle between
Let me, before I even, I have to look into the student view.
Right.
Well, there's a very simple way to change it for the teacher view, and I have to see the student view, and I'll tell you right now, and I can even show you. Let me share my screen. So, hold on, let me share my screen.
And I think on their end, they're probably not consistent when they log in to figure out where they left off. They might be going to the grade book instead of going to the module and see what's.
Okay, this is. I'm glad you brought this up. Yeah, let me share with you sort of my workflow with kids and what I've found, because it is a little confusing, and I'm working on that. So right here is I'm in teacher mode, and just so you know, if I go to the grades, let me. Okay. 1 second. Okay. So if I go to the grading tab, and if you as the teacher are sort of frustrated that these things are out of order, I didn't know this until a couple days ago. You can drag these around.
Oh, cool.
See me doing that, yeah. So for some of the teachers, I did. I'll do this for you, Tony, if you want, but you can do it. But for some of the teachers, I drag them to the order of the modules, which makes sense because you want to see them in order. So that's that part. I don't know if there's a way to change it for the student, but I will certainly find out. But sort of getting back to that, the workflow thing helps with that a little bit. Here's what I tell my kids, is to go, I want them to see my comments, and I want them to see the grade. So I say, go to the grades tab, like this. I should go to the student. Let me go to student mode real quick. Go to the grades tab, read it, and then you can even click on the assignment and it'll take you to the note flight score with my comment. So that can be helpful if you want the kid to see what you wrote while they're looking at the score. So the kid clicks on grades. You guys are seeing this okay?
Yep.
Okay. So now I'm a student. I can see, let's see if there's a comment. Okay, so there's a comment here. Like, they could click this. I didn't do anything in the student mode here, but let's see. So there's the grade. Obviously, it's checked off. If there was the comment bubble, they could see the comment. They could see the rubric. But if they click the assignment, it takes them to the score that was turned in. So now they can see their work. If the teacher had written anything, it would be over here. They can see the grade. They can see the rubric if they click here, which is nice. But if they make changes here, there's not a turn-in button, so the teacher wouldn't get a notification that they changed something. They could certainly save it in NoteFlight. Like, if they made changes, it's just like working in NoteFlight, and that would be fine. So what I tell my kids is go to the grades, read the comments, click on it if you want to see the NoteFlight score with the comments, but then always go back to modules. This is going to keep them on track to see, which module has been unlocked, and then just work through the modules. So I don't know if that helps you. Yeah.
It does. Yeah, that does. If they do make a change, should they then write a comment back saying, "Please look at my
Great question,"
and then I'll know.
Great question. They don't have to do that. Here's what I suggest for teachers. Let me leave student view. I don't think this is the best way, but this is all we have right now, so I'm trying to work out a better way. But here's what I do. So I go to the modules, right? So I'm going to do some grading. First of all, I'm getting the email notifications. I don't know if you set up your email notifications, Tony. That can be helpful, but it can also just be a wash of emails. Are you getting them? If not, I can help you set that up. So I get a ping every time somebody turns something in.
Oh, I don't think I want to do that.
Yeah, the other option. Yeah, there's some other options.
Dangerous road to go.
I know. You can also get one email at the end of the day. If you prefer.
Oh, cool.
List everything. But anyway, here's what I do. I kind of know, like, okay, most kids, or I gave the assignment to do this step, building the create assignment. I know that most kids are doing this. I'm going to go to the speed grader from the module, and I'm going to make sure that the settings up here is showing them by the date they're submitted. So you can do alphabetical, but I want to make sure it's date that it's submitted. And what this does is, when I go to the student list, so I can go to the last one. So it's going to show a check mark because they turned something in, right? It's the automatic 100, so they can go on to the next module. But what I do is I go to the last one, and then it shows me the date over here. Okay, it was turned in September 22nd, so I know, like, okay, that was today. I definitely didn't see what they did. So I'll look at it, and often my comment will be here from before, and then I'll see that they added or changed something, and I can leave a comment, regrade it, etc. And then I go backwards. So I'm going to go back until this date over here is a date at which I know I graded this module. Now, that's not perfect because you might not remember, but I find that, like, it's usually correct. Like, if we were to keep going back, I don't know how it is for this assignment, but there might be a handful of kids that redid it, and so now I'm, like, on September 18th. So I know that, like, if it was September 22nd and 5 kids did it that night, then I would know, like, those ones I need to look at again. Does that kind of help? Does that make sense? Went kind of fast.
Yeah.
All right, so I go to the module, speed grader, and then once you make this setting, it's always this way. I just make the setting in the speed grader show it by date submitted up here, and then work backwards, basically. Other LMS things while I'm here. Anything? You know that you can, if you're on modules, you can view progress if you want to see each individual student's progress.
Oh, that's handy.
So it's kind of nice. It does go one at a time, but if I want to say, like, okay, how far is Charlie? It'll show me how far he's gotten.
Well, that's cool.
Kind of nice. So these are in progress, etc. So that can be handy to do quickly. There are a lot of ways to get to the progress. The grade book is good too because you can just kind of scroll back and forth. And as the reason the rubrics that we're using them is so that it does this learning mastery thing, which maybe it's not so helpful for you, but for, like, my principal, it's a big thing now. We're trying to show mastery in a sense that's not like a grade. So this is sort of tracking all of these things. So for each student, it gives sort of the important principles of the course, sense of key, melodic shape, all these things. And with each rubric, these things are being assessed. So it's adding them up over time. And then, like a family conference, which we have next week, I'll pull these up for parents and say, like, oh, Andre's rocking all of our sort of learning targets, as you can see here. Anyway.
Quick question. I'm trying to log in now.
Okay.
I can't. But when a student creates something on NoteFlight, am I able to download that XML file?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. Want me to show you how to do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do I have to pop it out of the window or something?
No, you can do it anywhere. I don't know if I added this on everybody's, but Tony, when you go to your home page, is there a link to NoteFlight or not?
Trying to.
I don't think I added
log in
it.
right now. It's being weird.
Are you getting an error, or is there some?
It says incorrect username.
Okay. Let me know if you need help with that. But Robin, I wonder what you think of this too. But let me share my screen again. I set it up so that I made a link that goes right to the teacher's NoteFlight home, which I think is helpful for some teachers if they want to mess around in NoteFlight, do like Tony is asking, like try to find a kid's piece or.
Robin, is it possible to hook up this account with like my paid account, meaning like when I hit on one of my groups or communities?
Unfortunately, no. We were just talking about that before.
Before you came in, we were talking about that.
It's just a long-standing problem, a sort of permanent problem, which is that any site that's integrated with a LMS like this is separate from any other NoteFlight site, like any other freestanding one. So there's no way for them to really talk to each other. So XML export is the only way to
go.
move a score between.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a big technical leap to figure that out. Like that's.
Yeah. I don't quite know what's under the hood, but I've been told it's basically not gonna be possible.
Yeah, I don't see how it would be.
I'm with that.
You know, one of the things that I think is if you have a separate NoteFlight account, that's great, and just think of like the stuff you're doing with this NoteFlight account just for MusicWorks courses. You know, like in some ways it stinks that you have to kind of go back and forth, but that's one way to look at it. But what I did,
I'm logged in now.
Okay, so this is another school, and what I did is I put a NoteFlight link just right on the home page that I believe is going to go to the NoteFlight home. I might have, can't remember how I did hers. Okay, so yeah, there'll be a link, and then this actually opens a score. I've changed the other ones. It'll go right to the NoteFlight home. So then it's just, it's NoteFlight. Like it'll be, you'll see your pieces. The one difference is, that the students are all done through the LMS. So if you want to see your NoteFlight, your kid's NoteFlight's home, you would go to people, open one of their scores, and you can see everything in there.
Oh, that's great. I like that. Okay.
So that's.
Am I right that you have to click on that NoteFlight link initially in order for the other scores to load?
Yes, one time.
Yeah.
One time. That's why.
And that's a general thing with all LMS integrations. Is like once you log into the LMS, you're not actually connected to NoteFlight yet. You have to find that link.
Yeah, it's got to make the connection to log the person in. So like here, if I click on this student, I could go to any of his work to get to. Do it right this second.
Like you could end up on a student score, but you haven't actually connected to log into NoteFlight yet.
Yes, actually, here's what I do. Sorry, Tony. I remember now. So if I want to go to a kid's NoteFlight home, maybe just to see like if he's creating other stuff or if he can't find something, you can imitate the student or become the student by clicking on people, the kid's name. It's going a little slow because of the chat. Sorry. So I could become Langston here. Like clicking him, it's going a little slow. The user account details has an option to become this person, so right here. And now whatever I do, I'm going to masquerade as Langston, and literally whatever I did would be the same as if he were doing it. So, I can go to one of the assignments, I can go to NoteFlight.
Does it actually, could you actually do his assignment for him?
I could do his assignment for him.
He wouldn't know that.
He would have no idea. Right? So when I go to NoteFlight as Langston, it'll go to his home. I might have to log out of NoteFlight. I can't remember. Let's see. Nope. So now I'm Langston.
Oh, wow.
Right, so if I go to home, here's all of Langston's scores and stuff. So if you wanted to get a kid's piece or something, you would do this and then export it as XML. Like if you want.
Do the kids generally find their home page like that, or do they find it and sort of use it?
Not the NoteFlight one. No, not so much. Yeah. They could. There are ways that might be useful. Mm-hmm. Alex actually brought up something where he's like, well, why don't you make a step in MusicWorks 1 where they have to go into NoteFlight and make something, mess around and experiment. So that could be cool.
Yeah.
All right. Back here. So
that's a very Alex thing to say.
Yeah. No, which would be great. I think I'm so much trying to help teachers have this be successful that okay, I've tried these 10 things. I know this one thing works and these 9 don't. So try to do this, but there should be plenty of time, and it could be as progressive and open-ended as anybody wants it to be, really. Yeah.
It's very helpful.
And then I guess the other thing is, Tony, do you find that kids, because high school kids, they might wrap their head around this a little easier, but are they reading the comments? Do you find are they oh,
they are.
Matt,
yeah, because they bring up you every
okay. Who's this guy?
This Matt character.
Good. Just pretend, make me out to be awesome and really smart.
The mastermind.
Exactly. Yes.
Mysterious mastermind.
Totally.
Grace gets a kick out of her comments. She's like, I don't know, this Matt.
That's hilarious. I love it. I love it. Well, along with that, what I wanted to say was like you should really encourage them to write back. Like that to me is really.
No, that kind of scares me too.
Right. But really, like
a conversation.
I tell kids if they don't agree, write back, or if they're have questions, to write them there.
I've noticed that too. Like when I ask them to like respond and be like, "What did you think of? Do you agree with my comment? Like, do you think that should be a G?" Or they seem scared or hesitant to do that. Like they don't want to get into the back and forth.
Yeah,
it's hard to coax them to do it.
Yeah, some kids think, oh, it's easier to just do what he said.
Right. Especially probably if they don't know me personally. If I'm this remote voice, coming in from the ether.
Yeah, tricky.
Yeah.
Cool. I just want to be cognizant of the time, Robin. I know you got things to do. And Tony, you should probably go home at some point.
I just got the school credit card, so I'm going to be on Amazon for a little bit. I get it one day a year.
That's hilarious.
This is your chance to go on a spending spree.
Oh, that's great. That's awesome. But thanks for checking in, you guys. And if there's anything else before we wrap up, we'll do this again.
I found this super helpful. Yeah. Very helpful.
Okay. Right, that's my idea. Is like I think even just us talking about stuff, things will come up and.
Yeah, this is helpful for me too. To some details that I didn't know about, and just getting oriented.
And I'm a big proponent in the teachers who are doing this to feel like they don't need to have all the answers, and there are other teachers who are trying this and they don't have all the answers either. And just through like us talking about it, I think it's great, better for everybody. And then the last thing I was say, Tony, I got your email about later on maybe working some of your ideas for a film scoring course. I think that's exciting.
Yes, if
really cool.
Robin, can you get that so that the YouTube video will mute out and then?
Oh yeah, that came up again recently, and I was thought of our conversation.
That's awesome.
And it's weird that it doesn't work already, but yeah, it's
in the pipeline, maybe.
It's in the pipeline.
That's the answer.
The pipeline just tends to be it's a very long pipeline.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that'll be neat though. Once you kind of flesh
I mean, if you ever hear of other teachers who want that, tell them to write to Noteflight and suggest it, because the more we hear from people, the more it bolsters the case.
Push it up the ladder. Sure.
I won't do a Twitter. Assault.
Question.
Well, you could.
Good idea.
It wouldn't hurt.
It sometimes can move things along.
Yeah. Do I hear a baby?
Yeah, that is the baby. I'm gonna go tend to that sound.
Any chance we can meet the baby? Well,
can we see the baby? Can we see the baby? Unless something's going on. What's going on? Oh, we can't see the baby right now.
Oh, okay.
Oh wait, I can show you a picture. Hold on. Let's see. I have no shortage of pictures, as you could guess.
Yeah,
so Tony, I don't know if I told. So I did mention that email. Yes. So our baby came 4 weeks early.
You'll be what?
Our baby, but Debbie and my wife and I had a baby, but it was a month early.
Oh, I didn't know. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So originally we were gonna do the Google Hangout I think the day after it was born or something like that, and I had to cancel it. Let's see. I'm gonna definitely.
We were we didn't even get the crib yet. What are we?
No joke. I don't know if you can see these pictures. Can you see these pictures?
Oh, cool. Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so let me get this one. She's awesome bundle of love and joy, but we get some good pictures. She's great. She's totally healthy. Came out 6 pounds.
That's awesome.
We're totally. It's insane. It's look at this.
Oh, cute.
It's just it's beyond. Cute. If you guys are ever considering having kids, I'm telling you, it's amazing. All right. So on this cute note, let's wrap. And
all right.
That's good.
We'll get her working on Noteflight soon, and I'm sure she'll have questions too.
Yeah, she'll be our test candidate.
Totally. All right.
Awesome.
Thanks, you guys. Take care.
Thanks. Good to see you.
Bye-bye. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.